Hello, beautiful YouTube people. It is your girl, Ayana, aka the Crafty Notary, and I'm back finally with another video. Listen, I know it has been a while, and I have no excuse for how long it's been, other than that I have been a little busy with the full time job and running my notary business. But I want to be sure that I am here for you all and that I still see all of your comments. I'm still answering comments, albeit a little late, but I'm still answering comments. So I still want you to know that I am here for you and I'm still here to give you some information. Okay. So, as you can see by the title today, what documents can I actually notarize? Let me tell you, me and my notary friends, the Superior Notary crew, we get this question all of the time. We get it from a lot of clients or a lot of notaries that we coach or mentor or whatever it may be. We get this question all the time. And it goes a little something like, I just got an email to do a signing and it's document I've never seen before. Have you ever seen this? Or someone just asked me to notarize divorce paperwork. Have you ever seen divorce paperwork? Or do you know what I need to do? Or anything, any scenario, right? You get the gist, any scenario. However, what I am here to tell you is that it absolutely does not matter what document they call you with to notarize. What you need to know is, can you notarize it? That's it, and that's all. So in this video, I'm going to show you what you need to look for in a document in order to know whether or not it is something that you can actually notarize. Now, before I get too far, you want to make sure you have a primer, right? And I talk about this, and I'm going to talk about it in every video. I'm going to beat a dead horse. But you want to make sure you have a primer because you want to make sure you know what the law is and how it pertains to what you need to do. Now, if you're not in Florida, then get your primer for your state, and you get that by going to the National Notary Association's website and click on, I think it's supplies. The primer is in there. So you want to make sure you know what the law is first and foremost before you start notarizing anything, because that determines what you can and what you cannot do. And you wouldn't believe how many notaries have no idea what the law is as it relates to being a notary. Don't let that be you. Read the dang on primer, read the law itself, know for yourself, and don't be out here putting questions on Facebook asking, what should you do? Number two, or the next thing is, when you get a client that is asking you to sign a document or notarize a document, you want to be sure to ask them to send you a copy of the document. Now, if they don't have the capability to scan it and email it to you or fax it to you, whatever your method is, have them take a picture of the document. Yes, page by page, because you want to see if the document is something that you can be notarized. If the document is in another language, you can't notarize that document. You have to be able to understand the notarial certificate. Well, let me see. If the notarial certificate is in English, you may be able to notarize the document. However, if the document has to go somewhere like to the state of Florida for an apostille, you can't notarize that document. It may have to be translated. That's just one case. If the document is from another country and is returning back to that country, like I had a situation where someone contacted me about a document that came from, I want to say Colombia, and needed to be notarized for an agency in Colombia. That's not something that I can notarize here in the United States. That is something that needs to be notarized or taken care of in Colombia. It's a Colombian document. It originated there. It's going back there. Why would I notarize it here? That made no sense to me. Also, you want to make sure that the person that's asking you to notarize the document is the person listed on the document? So if the signer's mother is asking you to notarize the document, the signer is never going to be present, and they're asking you, you can't notarize that document without that signer being present. So some of those common sense things you need to know in order to know whether or not you can notarize a document. Now, if it is a document that you can notarize, you want to look for notarial language. And let me share my screen so that we can look for what you're looking for. All right, here we go. So I just cut and pasted this notarial language onto a Word document. Excuse me, but here's what you want to be looking for. You want to be looking for this block of information. This is called the notarial certificate. It doesn't matter that it's on this Word document. It's still a notarial certificate or a notarial block, a language block, whatever you want to call it. This is the language that you need to look for on the document because it's going to tell you a couple of things. Number one, it's going to tell you whether it's an acknowledgement or a jurat. Okay, one says sworn to, one says acknowledged before. So this top one is acknowledgement, the bottom one is a jurat. That is information that you need to know. Why do you need to know that? Because if you're doing a jurat, you want to make sure that you are issuing the oath, that you are giving the oath. You cannot skip that step here in the state of Florida. So you need to know whether or not it's an acknowledgement or a jurat. Also, where it says by, that's the signer's name that goes there. Sometimes it's already filled in. If it's already filled in with Jane Doe, you need to make sure it's Jane Doe that is before you that signed the document. Another thing you need to know is if it's an acknowledgement and they already signed the document, not in your presence, that's okay. They can do that. It can be signed in the state of Florida without you being present. However, you do need to ask verbally, do you acknowledge that this is your signature? Or this is your signature, correct? They need to answer that verbally. And you need to note in your journal that they signed the document prior to you getting there and that they acknowledged it was their signature in your presence. You should make that note in your journal. If it's a jurat, it cannot be signed before they get to you. It has to be signed in your presence. So if they should have happened to sign already, you can line through it and have them sign again. So you need to know a couple of things before you get to notarizing, but definitely looking for this language tells you what you need to know in order to make the notarization. So you don't have to know what the document is. This language can be on any document. It can be just like this on a plain piece of paper. And I could have typed, this is my letters stating blah, blah, blah. And I signed it with my name. And then I'm going to sign it in pen up here somewhere. This is, you can notarize this. It makes no difference. Like what the document is not of the most importance. It is important in the sense that you want to make sure that the document is completed in its entirety. So there's no missing information. There's no blank spots there. It's important in the fact that you need to know who should be signing the document. So those types of things are important as it relates to the document. But what the document actually is not. And so we need to stop getting caught up on it's not a document that I've ever seen before, so I don't know if I can notarize it. You're looking for the language. This language here is your instruction on what to do. Now, okay, Ayana, I got the document and none of this stuff was on there. Now what should I do? Well, in that case, you can do get out of here. You can do a loose certificate, right? And hold on. Oh. let me make sure it's on. Hold on, let me stop it and get it back to where I need to go. Okay, here we go. There we go. I was only sharing the window, not the screen. So you can do a loose certificate. So if there is no language, you have a couple of options. Number one, you can actually write this information on their document. Now, it won't probably be the prettiest unless your handwriting is so pretty. But you can write this information in. If it's missing something like who produced identification, and it's just said by whomever, and then it has, the notary. And in fact, this one's missing the notary's name and all of that stuff. You can handwrite that in. And so normally, if it doesn't say anything about who produced or didn't produce identification, kind of like this one at the bottom, I just write that information in. And what else? If it's missing your venue right here, you can write that information in on the document. It doesn't have to be 100% complete. It can be a partial certificate because maybe it came from a different state and they don't know what the 9 requirements are in the state of Florida, but we do. And so we can write it in. You can also get a stamp made with all of this information with your name, your printed name, that looks just like the loose certificate here. You can get a stamp, and I actually do have a stamp with that information. And if there's enough room on the document, like it is on this one, you can just actually stamp that information onto the document. Let me see if I can reach my stamp, and I'll show you guys the stamp. All right. If you don't have one of these notary bags with the lock, you need to get one, especially if you're leaving your bag in the car. You need to have, it needs to be secure. I don't know why I have it locked in the house, but hey, you never know. Somebody might break in my house. And I know they can just pry this little flimsy lock off, but hey, it is what it is. But here is my stamp. So this is the Jurat stamp. So as you can see, I have all of that language on a stamp. I literally had this made, and there's some site, one of the notary associations, I want to say Florida Notary Association or something. If you type it in, even if you type in Florida Jurat stamp in Amazon, I'm sure this stamp will come up. And so I have one for for a Jurat, and I have one for an acknowledgement. Now, I don't have one for the copy certification, but I do have that. And so you can stamp that information on. I also have a stamp. You can't see that, but it says appear by means of physical presence and produced ID. So when I'm doing loan signings and it's missing information, I stamp that and then I write any ID. I also have a stamp with my name on it in case I don't feel like writing my name. Now, I don't have a really long name. And then I have this stamp, which I'm getting ready to replace. It's coming. State of Florida, county of. I don't like how the county is centered, but county of. So the venue is missing. I can stamp that and write my county on there. So those are ideas you can do for getting your required information on the actual document. So let's go back to our document. Now, if you don't have that and there's no room for you to write it or stamp it or even use a sticker, you can use a permanent sticker, print that notary block on there and peel it off and stick it on there. It is permissible in the state of Florida. I don't know about other states, but it's permissible here. But if there's no room on your document, then you need to attach a loose certificate. And then this is the loose certificate. You're going to fill it in, your county, physical presence or online, date, person acknowledging, your signature, your name, if you knew them, the produced ID. And then you don't want to miss this section. If you have an acknowledgement, a loose certificate, jurat or acknowledgement and it does not have this information on it, you need to write this information on it, on the document or on the loose certificate. What I do when I do runs and I use a loose certificate from the platform that doesn't have this, I just write original document name. I put the name of the document. I put the total number of pages and I put the date. And so that way, when they attach this to that document, the person on the other end should know and recognize that this notarization, this loose certificate is connected to the document that is attached to it. So should they become separated, they know where it goes. And the person can't take this loose certificate and apply it to something else, copy it, and then apply it to something else. It has the document name on there, so they can't use it somewhere else. Now, if they want to get fancy schmancy and do a bunch of finagling and whatever, it probably can be done, and it will be done, and I'm sure it has been done. But you don't want to make it easy for anybody. So those are your two options. So that's it in a nutshell, guys. Stop asking. I won't say stop asking, but become more confident in what you're doing. You have to be confident. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to be nervous. I tried a new platform, a RON platform this week, and I was completely nervous to where I made a mistake. It happens. That's not the point. The point is to be confident in what you know and what you do so that you can do your job the right way and the best way possible. So that's all I got for now. It's going to be a relatively quick one. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. I do intend to put more videos out here, okay? I got some coming up. Also, as far as the Superior Notary Crew, I'm taking a break for a while. So I need to put some love into my channel. And so I'm going to be taking a break from doing that and putting, more effort back into my channel. Number 3, I will be a speaker at a notary meetup. The venue is still pending. It will be April the 15th. It's a Saturday from 4 to something. It's 4 p.m. So it's in the evening on a Saturday. More details to come. Once I get that, I will let you know. Oh, and one more thing. If you don't have my notary calculator, let me share that with you guys so that you can see that too. Let's see. If you don't have my notary calculator, you need to get it. Okay. Here it is. This is my notary calculator. I have gotten nothing but good reviews and good things said about this calculator. So when I tell you that it works, it actually does work. So you just put in where you're going here, and you can even put in things like Walmart, Tampa, Florida, and say I'm meeting them at if if it's a huge landmark, I don't know, let's just say Waffle House. I don't know if this will give us anything. Gave us 22 miles. Now that probably is not accurate because they don't know which Walmart and which Waffle House, but it gives you the number of miles and how long it would take for you to get there. You go ahead and put those miles there, and you go ahead and put that time there. If they only need one stamp and you think you'll be at their house 15 minutes, $60 is the cost. Okay. And now I want you to know that the mileage and the time is round trip. Both of these are calculated over here as round trip. So you don't have to worry about it. See up here, times 2, it's there. The formula is there. So this is a round trip number. And so 60 would be your fee. Now you don't have to charge them $60, but at least you know that you're not shortchanging yourself if you did. All right. So that is a notary calculator. And Be sure if you don't have it to go ahead and download it. You go to ayanalugo.com. So it's ayanalugo.com. Click on the digital store, download the Notary Calculator. If you want a coupon for the calculator, send me a DM on Facebook. Send me a DM on Facebook at the Crafty Notary, and I will give you access to the code for half off of the calculator. It's $20. I'll let you get it for 10. So DM me on Facebook, the Crafty Notary, and I'll give it to you for 10. Now, if you can't find that, if you don't have Facebook, you can message me on Instagram, and you can, if you can find my text or email, you can do that too. All right. So anybody who gets in contact with me will get the code. So that's all I got for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until the next time, see you.